The biggest thing that is my biggest takeaway from the project is that innovation, it's okay to fail. You learn from your errors. You learn, it's a learning process. It takes time, but at the end of the day, you really come out with your really key important things. That's what I really learned from this, was that it's all right. As long as you learn from it, it's great.
Fort McMurray's gone through a lot of these evaluation pieces and planning pieces. Because this had an academic component, because it was inclusive of people in the community, I think that was truly effective in building trust, which allows you to go to the next levels in terms of planning and building the capacity in the community.
But the primary lesson from Social Prosperity with Buffalo is you have to start by listening to community. That you can't come in as an outside agency, whether it's a university, a donor, a government department, and sort of assume that you can create a solution that will actually serve the community well. And one of the most incredible things about Social Prosperity with Buffalo is that from the beginning, as Suncor sort of contemplated the idea of social prosperity, that they realized that they had to start from the ground up. You had to begin by listening to community, letting them define the issues, the problems, the sort of processes going forward. And it's been really exciting. You know, the process was open-ended, kind of scary to get started because you weren't quite sure where it was going to go and what was going to happen. But very quickly, the community provided fairly consistent direction to what they wanted, what they hoped to get out of the process, what they wanted for their own city.
So, from all the evaluations that we've been doing over the last 3 years, what comes out more than anything is that that important convening role that they have played. So again, bringing together people who don't usually talk to each other to a place where they are now working together on new initiatives. The other thing that comes out quite a lot with the evaluation is just the role social prosperity has played in shifting the whole dialogue and what the nature of those conversations are like. So the example of that we just talked about was around the use of social profit. So changing the language, changing the identity, changing the whole positioning of the entire sector and what its contribution is to the community. So that, sort of creating the space, having the conversations, and those building up into kind of spin-offs around, what it means to be engaged in a process of creating social prosperity, where well-being and social inclusion and all those things can happen.
So for me, the Social Prosperity Project has really opened up that space for change. It's enabled the community to look at collaboration as a useful tool to bring us together and have that conversation around what is truly important for us as a community. What does quality of life mean? What do we need to have in the community to have quality of life? What do we mean by a sustainable, resilient community? And so this process, this Social Prosperity with Buffalo process, has enabled us to have those conversations, has brought unusual suspects together, and so has just created that space for change. I think that's one of the best outcomes of the project. It's opened people's minds to the possibilities.